Good morning, friends. This is my second time recording this episode today because my program completely froze up right at the last minute of me recording. So kind of frustrating, but then again, I'm like, maybe I should ad-lib it and see what comes out because maybe, just maybe, I didn't add something in I needed to that you guys need to hear. So I'm going to look at this as a positive thing, and we're going to continue on today. And the topic that I was really focusing on is what healing looks like, because it looks so different for everybody. And it's really hard to get a grasp on what it may look like for you when you don't understand some things that are going on. And it's hard to even envision ourselves as a quote healed version of us when we believe so much of the things that are going on in our lives are just our personality, when really it could be a result of trauma. So this is definitely a topic that I love talking about, and I love sharing what I've experienced as far as being a healer for other people, as well as what I've experienced in my life. So with that, let's go ahead and roll the credits and we will get started.
Hey friend, welcome to Deep Healing for Creative Entrepreneurs. My name is Aubrey Barr and I am a subconscious release technique practitioner and photography business owner. I know you are sick of ending your day feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, and you are seeking a solution to help you feel creatively inspired and actively engaged in your business as well as personal life. In this podcast, we are going to dig into any limiting beliefs or subconscious programs that are keeping you in a space filled with anxiety and stress. This work is not a temporary solution for your life. No, this is a complete transformation. So grab your coffee or tea and let's start you on the road to healing. And let me just say, you can do this. You are worth it. And you are meant to thrive in life and business. So let's dig in.
So when I was really focusing on, okay, what should I talk about today? I kept coming up with this topic of healing because you guys know it's my main topic. It's what I talk about all the time. But I do believe that there's a little disconnect between what that may look like for people based off of their experiences and the way that we view stigmas in society, we'll say. So first off, I wanted to say that, I'm acknowledging that everybody has just different things going on. We have different traumas. We have different stories. We have different limiting beliefs that have led us all to this state we're in now, where we're listening to this podcast episode, right? So that 100% acknowledged. And also I wanted to bring in my expertise from what I've seen, because what I've seen has really shaped how I coach and how I help people on their healing journey, because I've seen so many different things and it's really quite interesting. So I've been able to help a little over 300 people. And I will say most of those were women. I'd say 90% of them, maybe 95 were women. But nonetheless, I've been able to really kind of sculpt what this may look like for people and how insanely different it is for everybody. So I wanted to share a little bit about that today. And the reason why I find it so useful to make these connections and to share with other people what I've seen is because it is so hard for us to recognize how different our life would be if we were just, healed, or at least in a healed space, right? Because we're never really done. It's difficult, I think, because so much of our past trauma is just showing up as oh, that's just my personality. That's just who I am, right? But in reality, what's showing up as your personality could really just be some trauma that you are not able to deal with or not conscious of, and therefore haven't been able to work through it. It may show up as, just things that are maybe not so fun about you. Maybe things that are fun about you. Maybe it's that you're too passive about things. Maybe you're too easygoing and you don't really know yourself, right? You don't really know if you like pizza or if you actually hate it, because everybody likes it. So you assume you do too, right? It could show up as you being someone who is considered bossy, because you are actually working from a defense mechanism from your trauma, right? You may think that these are just personality stuff, and maybe it's not. So just being able to open your mind up to the kinds of possibilities of what may be going on in your world is kind of crazy, right? Because I've literally seen people completely change. And if you're a family member or spouse or whatever, you might say, oh my gosh, why are you so different? It might be a little uncomfortable at first. Like if you don't know how to handle it, or if you're just like, what's really going on? But in reality, it's these little pieces of healing that bring you closer to that more authentic version of yourself. That's pretty hard to get to otherwise. So what are some other ways that healing might start to show up in your life? Especially when you're already actively working on this, maybe you're in one of my programs, or maybe you're doing one-on-one work with me or somebody else who's trauma informed. When you're on this path, you may notice things about yourself. One, you may be more patient with yourself, not with other people necessarily, though that may happen, but with yourself. So that may look like you ending the day saying, you know what, Aubrey, that did not go how we wanted it to. And you probably said some wrong words, or you probably should have done that differently. But I know that we're learning, and I know that tomorrow's another day, and we're just going to get back up and we're going to try again. Imagine having that conversation instead of the one that 95% of the people out there have, which is, I cannot believe you did that. How could you make that mistake again? What is wrong with you? You're so stupid. You're so bad. I don't like you at all. I can't believe it. That didn't sound fun at all. But there's a lot of people that are there, and maybe it's you. Maybe that's where you're at still. When you allow for healing in your life, you do tend to be more patient with yourself, and you offer more grace to yourself. And it's a beautiful thing to do. When I think about that, I think about how amazingly lucky we've been and fortunate to have people in our lives that do continue to give us second chances. I think about the way we're set up with God, how we have other chances, how we have repentance, how we have forgiveness and the atonement. And I remember that we're all human, right? So whether your mistakes that you're making are purposeful and bad, or whether they're just like not understanding the whole picture, or coming from a place of trauma and just re-traumatizing everybody around us, right? Guess what? I have news for you. These are forgivable things. These are, in fact, so forgivable that we should absolutely forgive ourselves for. And because that's how I think about these things, it is a huge part of healing to be able to give yourself grace. And it is a big focus of mine. It can just destroy you. When you are so self-critical of yourself, you will purposely hold things in, subconsciously, mind you, okay, not consciously, but purposely hold things in subconsciously, to the point where you will want to suffer 100% of the time. You keep feelings in your bodies, emotions in your body, where you are angry all the time, right? Where you are constantly berating yourself because you are self-punishing based on what is going on in your life. So there's a huge, huge emphasis here on the subconscious side of this work. Because if I told people like straight up, you are obviously not forgiving yourself because you're keeping all this anger inside your body and it's manifesting as an overweight problem, people would just like stop talking to me. They would think I'm crazy. They would be like, why in the crap would I ever, ever, ever do that to myself? That makes zero sense. You're full of crap. I don't want to talk to you. This is stupid. But guess what? It's subconscious. So when you have 80,000 thoughts going on in your head and you literally do not consciously hear 65,000 of them, because that's the statistics, you guys. So 65,000 of those thoughts you are not consciously aware of. So don't tell me that you never do that. Don't tell me you never talk badly about yourself in there. Okay, because we all do. We all do. Even I do. The difference is I've been able to correct a lot of that, and so have my clients. But for the most part, we all have those thoughts going on. You are not any different, especially if it's showing up in your lives of feeling anxiety and overwhelm, and when you're triggered all the time, and when you're constantly second guessing yourself, or constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, or my work's not good enough, I can't put myself out there. Like, all of these things are from those programs. That's how essential they are. But healing is such a beautiful thing, because when we're able to remove those, we only leave space for the good stuff. And we're able to then reprogram our minds around what thoughts we would like to hear, right? And that's where affirmations come in. Because once you clear a lot of that out, then you're able to add in some affirmations, not before. They will not stick. There's nowhere for them to go if your mind is already full of 80,000 thoughts about why you're not a good person, okay? So it's always good to do that in order. But healing for a lot of people looks like a transformation in their personality, just based off of that, being able to clear out these thoughts and being able to clear out these, emotions that we're holding in our bodies. So I really want you to think about that, because there may be people in your lives right now that are on this journey, and things may look different for them. They may have different conversations with you than before. They might be more attentive than they ever have been in their lives. And you may want to run from that. You may be like, okay, this is a little uncomfortable, or I don't know if I want to trust them again, or I don't know if I want, this relationship with them, whatever. But understand that they're in the process of giving themselves forgiveness and grace and moving on to a new phase of their lives. And it's just as important for you to be in that phase anyway. But just know that when they're going through it, the best thing we can do is support them, right? Just support them in whatever they need for that. And best case scenario, when you get to go through these things and when you get to alter what you thought was your personality and actually ends up being a huge shift in your trauma stories, when you get to do that, it's nice to already have people in your corner that can understand that. Or maybe you get to pave the way for them, right? There's so many different ways to look at it, but it's all amazing, and it's all a part of just being in a better space. That's one more thing I want to say about healing, is that people who are healing are always growing. So when you feel stuck, when you feel like you can't do anymore, when you feel like there's just no point, it's probably because you're not in a phase of healing. Because anytime you are healing, you are able to grow in whichever direction you want to, whether that's, emotional growth, emotional intelligence, and just maybe spiritual growth. Maybe you're getting more connected to that intuition. Whatever it is, you are growing in the best kind of way when you are in a healing space. So I want to encourage you all to be there and to have that mindset of growth, because that is the best way to check and say, okay, am I actually healing, or am I just listening to all the things and thinking, this sounds great, this sounds wonderful, maybe one day I'll do it, and then still feeling stuck at the end of the day. You've got to be able to not only recognize the value of healing, but also start applying it. And you're going to see that through the growth. That's where you're going to see it. And that's where you're going to know. It's going to be like there's proof. We're on the right track. We're doing the right things. Because it's one thing to understand it, to hear it, and another to take action. So for those of you that are super interested in this work and maybe have been looking for adding a program into your life or doing some one-on-one work, I have this incredible opportunity right now, and I'm only running it for the next few days. So this will come out on Tuesday. So until Friday, you'll have a chance to join us in the We Are Magnetic Women membership. We're going to be working on intuition calibration this month. So there's 4 separate classes on this. Well, 3 classes and then 1 Q&A. And we're going to be really getting in contact with that inner part of us and what it's trying to tell us, and just receiving information on a different level than what we're used to. But not only just receiving it, but being able to decipher it. That's a huge, huge thing, right? I have so many people that come to me with these messages or these ideas and they don't know how to decipher them. And the reality is, guess what? You guys have that in you. You absolutely can. You would not be receiving any kind of messages or nudges or gut instinct if you weren't trusted with actually being able to decipher that. But when it's so foggy in our heads, it's really, really difficult. So we're really cleaning that out and being able to reestablish some trust there, some self-trust and some intuition trust. It's going to be amazing. I absolutely know that everybody who's listening to this would fit into this group and would learn something from this course that we're doing. But in the We Are Magnetic membership, every month we have something else that we focus on. And a lot of it is removing the stigmas of society and being able to really break down those programs in our heads that are telling us certain things. So it's very specific to women, yes. But for the next few days, next 3 days, I'm running a special where anybody who signs up for the year will also get a free one-on-one with me. And the crazy thing is that I don't run these free one-on-one sessions by themselves anymore. I only do them in my coaching packages. So you don't really get another opportunity to do this. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity. It's a great way to jumpstart your healing, to start shifting those ideas about yourself that absolutely need to shift. Oh, they so need to shift. I will leave the link in the comments, you guys, and everybody who signs up before Friday at midnight Eastern time, I will shoot you a message and send you my calendar and we'll get you booked right away so that you can have this jump start into February and just really feel on top of this healing thing. You guys, I'm telling you, if you've been listening to it, if you've been feeling nudges here and there that you need to tackle certain things, now is the best time. Now is way better than tomorrow, because tomorrow, well, it's just not really reliable, is it? We never know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's better to get started today. All right, friends, lovely people, have a beautiful day. I hope to talk to you soon. And please, please enjoy your week. Let me know if you have any questions about We Are Magnetic membership or even one-on-one coaching with me. I only have one of those available right now. So reach out and have a beautiful day. Talk soon.
I hope this podcast spoke to you in some way. If it did, please go ahead and leave me a review and subscribe so that I know you're enjoying what you hear. And further, if you know somebody else who owns their own creative business and struggles with anything that we spoke about, please pass this on, because it is my hope that we will be able to build a community of like-minded individuals who love on each other and appreciate the many facets that make our creative business so unique. And lastly, check out the show notes to find my free Facebook community and other useful links to work with me. All right, friend, see you soon.